Hello guys, you're welcome to my channel. Today we'll be discussing on the internal aspect of the right atrium. This is a common question in most medical examinations. So they should ask you, discuss on the internal aspect of the right atrium. What are some of them you are going to write? Generally, we know that the heart has four chambers: the right atrium, left atrium, the right ventricle, and the left ventricle. Now, within the internal aspect of the right atrium, there are very important structures we are going to see. So we'll be discussing on those important features of the right atrium today. Now, one of the most important features of the internal aspect of the right atrium is that it has a rough part and a smooth part. So you should know that first. The internal aspect of the right atrium has a rough part and it has a smooth part. The rough part of the internal aspect of the right atrium is the anterior part, whereas the smooth part is the posterior part. So remember that you can just remember using PS. In the place to play PS4, PS5, PS. Posterior is smooth, whereas the anterior aspect is rough. The anterior aspect is rough due to the presence of some muscle fibers, which we refer to as musculi pectinati, also known as pectinate muscles. Now, after knowing that, it is important that you know this point, that the oxygenated blood is in the right side of the heart, whereas oxygenated blood is in the left side of the heart. Now, all the oxygenated blood coming from all parts of the body enters into the right atrium. Now, they go to the posterior parts of the right atrium, not the anterior part. Only one vein takes blood to the anterior part of the right atrium, which we refer to as the anterior cardiac vein. So just know this point. Veins entering into the right atrium opens into the smooth posterior parts. Only one vein is an exception, which is the anterior cardiac vein, which opens into the rough part of the right atrium. Please don't forget that point. Now, another internal feature of the right atrium is that there's something that separates that smooth part from the rough part. I refer to this structure as the crista terminalis internally. So what separates the smooth part of the right atrium from the rough part is crista terminalis internally, but externally it is separated by the sulcus terminalis. That's another important feature we just mentioned. Still, another important feature you should know is that the superior vena cava enters into the right atrium at the level of the third costal cartilage, and the inferior vena cava enters into the right atrium at the level of the fifth costal cartilage. Very important point you should also remember. Then, for fetus, however, there is an opening that connects the right atrium to the left atrium. We refer to that opening as the foramen ovale. Foramen ovale. Now, for adults, you are not going to see that foramen because it has been closed. But however, there's a remnant. I refer to that remnant as the fossa ovalis. The fossa ovalis. So a common question you see is the remnant of the foramen ovale is known as what? We tell them the fossa ovalis. These are some of the internal features of the right atrium. So let me just recap briefly some of the internal features of the right atrium you can write on. Number one, it has a smooth part, which is the posterior part. Number two, it has the rough part, which is the anterior part. Number three, the smooth part is where most of the veins entering into the right atrium drains into, except for the anterior cardiac vein, which drains into the rough part. Number four, the rough part is rough because of the presence of some muscle fibers, which we refer to as muscular pectinati. Number five, there is a structure separating the rough part from the smooth part, which we refer to as crista terminalis internally and sulcus terminalis externally. Then number six, we also mentioned that there's what we refer to as the superior vena cava entering at the level of the third costal cartilage. Then number seven, inferior vena cava entering to the right atrium at the level of the fifth costal cartilage. Then we also talk about what now? The foramen ovale, which connects the right atrium and the left atrium in fetus, or in fetus. Then we talk about the fossa ovalis, which is the remnant of the foramen ovale, which you see in adults. These are some important facts you should know about the internal aspect of the right atrium. Please subscribe to my channel and follow if you want to continually see videos like this. Take note, videos are posted every 2 days. Thank you very much for watching this video.